Hi folks, Dan Bird here with a daily scan for Wednesday, August the 6th. I'm going to try to make this quick because yesterday's was long. I actually had to tried to combine two together. The next time I'm going to separate those and do two separate videos, one for Technical Tuesday and one for the update. But today is the update. It's 12:36 p.m. East Coast time. And the market is trying to make a comeback today. So let's take a look real quick at what's going on. And I got a couple of questions that people asked me that I'm going to try to cover also. So first, let's go to the charts page. Hopefully my microphone sounds okay today also. When I was trying to move my laptop, I think it disconnected it a little bit. Next time, I'm just going to take a picture of my screens and just talk from it that way. So here's the 10-minute charts for the S&P. You can see right here. Today we opened, started to go higher, pull back a little bit, and then continue to go up. Right now it's kind of moving sideways. So we'll see how that survives the rest of the day. Technology is flat, financials flat, discretionary is up. That's good. So that's Tesla and Amazon. I'll look at Amazon in a minute. Communication services is flat, and industrials looks like it's down. If we look at the defensive sectors, healthcare down, staples is up. Energy down, utilities down, materials down. So this really isn't telling us much. One defensive sector is up and the aggressive sectors are pretty much flat. So market wants to go higher though. So it looks like it's continuing its bullish run. This is the rotation. Growth versus value is going up. Discretionary versus staples is flat. That's a result of discretionary going up and staples going up at the same time, so that makes it flat. Technology is pretty flat. Semiconductors are down, interestingly, and internet is pretty much flat. Again, not really giving us much conviction. And this one, I changed this to the Russell 2000, so this one also is kind of flat today, but it's got a green bar right now, so it might be trying to break back above the open. It is not yet back above the open, and you can see the momentum up here. Russell large caps looking really good today. Mid caps looking okay. Small caps, though, are the ones that are lagging in the Russell. So it looks like large caps are carrying the day today, and small caps are the ones that are lagging behind. Okay, so let's take a look real quick at the market bias chart. Last night it went down just slightly, kind of sideways. Didn't do too much yesterday after this big run down. You can see the short term is down and now maybe flattening out. The medium term is starting to roll over. And the long term is hanging in there, but you can see there are red and yellow bars up here at the top. So that's definitely time to take caution. So let's look at the S&P with the last week's expected move is right up here. It's moving up slightly. So that looks pretty good. If we look at the NASDAQ 100, it's doing the same thing, trying to move higher, but it's pretty much flat with the last 3 days. So not really too much conviction, like I mentioned. Russell, that is actually it's doing better in the afternoon, or yeah, right now. So we'll see how it ends the day, but it too is sort of going sideways right now. And then finally, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is pretty much the same thing. It's below the 21, so it's kind of moving sideways. All right, so a couple of questions that were asked, and I am going to use this one down here. So one was on Zeta. Zeta had a great earnings report. You can see right here, it made a gapped up on the earnings. Earnings were great, big volume. It's pulling back now, though, so it's halfway down its candle. So this is something to watch out for. If it ends like this, that is a shooting star, which many times is a reversal. But I'm going to show you something here in a minute that Zeta might end up doing the same thing. So you watch it to see how it ends the day. This is probably mostly profit taking. You can see it's above the 200-day. That's very positive. It could make it back up to about 25 right up here, 24.86, but let's call it 25. That's where I think it's trying to get to. Probably is going to take a couple of days for it to really start to take off. So this is profit taking through here. all of these people back here, they got trapped. They want to get out of break even. So you might see this actually go down the next couple of days even. So let me show you one that is similar. That was this one, by the way, has not been on the top 10 list lately. And it did not appear on any of my scans. But let me show you while I'm here. Let me show you where. This is a good example because the scans don't always pick up the best stocks necessarily. Now, this one doesn't have the criteria that would put it into that best stock scan. But if you're looking at a particular company and you researched the fundamentals and you thought it was a good company and you expected it to go higher and they continually beat their earnings, then that's one that you would follow likely. So you could see things that won't appear on the scans. So what I like to look for is when it pulls back and then closes above the 21. Right there, it did that, but then it pulled back again, closed above the 21 right there. So that would have been a good buy point. Now notice that one, I think that was earnings as well, because there's big, it was a gap up. There's lots of volume, looks very much like this one. So this one came all the way back down at the end of the day. That's what might happen here too. But then the next day it took off, and then the next 2 days after that, it reversed and came all the way back down. Ended up going all the way back down to the 50 right down here before starting to head higher. Now, they are proving that they can beat earnings, so I'm not saying that this will come back to the 50, and this was under the 200 at this time. So I would say the 200 are right in that, between the 200 and the 21, the blue and the gray. Right in that area, it could pull back to. I'm not saying it will, just saying that it could. But let me show you another stock that has been on the top 10 list and also had great earnings, Carvana, right here. So they had a shooting star candle right there. And 1, 2, 3, and today is day number 4, pull all the way back right to the 21. So that's why I like to say, and this is going to answer another person's question. The person asked me a lot of things hitting my scan, a lot of that look very bullish, but I'm reluctant to get in at this particular point because it's a weak part of the market, which it is. But what should I do? And I had another person ask me something similar, and what my recommendation was, well, if you want to get into something that has been strong, and this clearly has been strong, the trend has just been up, it pulls back to the typical support lines, the 21 or the 50, and then it starts to move higher again. And that's what it's doing again right now. So what I said was, rather than buying it up here at the top, put a limit order in at the 21. Now the 21 in this case is at 346.80. Let's call it 346, 347. And the low today was 345. So within $1, within $1 is where the low hit, the 21. So if you had put your order in right there at the 21, then you would be the proud owner of Carvana right now. And it actually is looking like it's looking like it's bouncing off the 21 and starting to move higher. It has more of a bullish candle today. So still black down here, but it's a very much smaller body. So the selling, I think, is winding down. You can see the volume going down as the price goes down. So that's good. And now the volume is pretty low today. So that could be it. That could be the time where it reverses. That's the kind of thing that Zeta may do as well. So if you're looking to get into it, then that's where I would do it, put it at the 21. AMD, this is the one that another person asked me about back here before the earnings. He said, I really would like to get into AMD. Should I just buy it here? That was up around 175. I told him the same thing. I said, no, it's a good stock. You don't know what earnings are going to do. Now they basically met earnings, but that wasn't enough. They really needed to blow it away like Palantir or some other stocks. But they didn't really miss either. So I said, put your stop down here at the 21. The 21 is at 162. I said, put it a little below that, put it at like 160. And as you can see, it executed. So that person now is the proud owner of AMD at 160 instead of 175. And right now he's made $1. It's up to 161. So AMD is a good stock. It probably will continue higher eventually. So that's a good entry. That's the way you want to do entries. You want it on the pullback. You want strong stocks that are looking like this. That's a momentum stock. And then you want to wait for it to pull back to the 21. So you can just put your orders in right there. And when it comes back to the 21, it'll take the order and start going higher. So that's the way to do that. So that answers the question the other person had about how do I get in. Now, one good thing about doing it this way is it's very low risk as well. So now you can watch this and see where the low is. The low today is 157.80, and you can put a stop in like at 150 right down here below it. So that's very low risk. It's about $10 that you would lose to make 180, 190 to the upside, to make 30. So that's a 1 to 3 reward to risk ratio. And that's what you're looking for. So that's the other good thing about waiting for it to come back to the 21, because once it does and you get in, especially if it bounces the next day, which is great, but you can put your stop very close to where your entry was, right below the 21 in this case. And that makes it a very low risk trade and high reward as it goes up. All right, the last thing I want to show is going back to Thinkorswim. One thing I didn't show yesterday that I want to point out, this is another scan that I created. This basically is a reversal scan, just like I showed you. So what this says is I'm looking for stocks that are over $2. I'm looking at them in my momentum watch list, which is a modified version of my top 10 list, looking for more momentum players. You see there's 211 matches, stocks that are over $2 in this particular list. What I'm looking for is a close today higher than yesterday, but the last 3 days were lower. So just like I showed you with AMD and with Carvana, they're not on this list right now, but there's one that I want to show you on this list. So I'm looking for a pullback, 3 days of a pullback, and then today it's starting to move higher. So that's what the scan does. And you can take a picture of that and create it yourself in Thinkorswim. Now, the ones that came up on here, interestingly, Roblox, Netflix, making a comeback, Amazon. Amazon sold off after earnings. So let's look at a couple of these. Let's look at Amazon and click on that and look at charts. So here's the pullback, went below the 50-day, and now it's starting to move higher. I'd like to see the momentum, the MACD, start to turn up and the histogram start to turn up down here. And I'd like to see the green cross the red, but it looks like it might be at the very beginning. And for those that like Amazon and looking for an opportunity to get in, this might be the opportunity right here, right today. And you can see the RSI went way oversold. So that right there is a good early signal as well when it starts coming back up from the RSI. All right, let's take a look at another one. Let's look at Fastenal. This one here is a $46 stock. And what you'll notice on this one, that one looks really good. It's already making its bounce. It pulled back right to the 21. So big pullback right here. They had, that's a dividend back here. Earnings were way back here. So they're already past earnings. And this has been a strong stock. It's been in that top 10 list. Pull back from a high. You don't want to buy them at the high. You want to buy them close to the 21. And now it's starting to move higher. So that is a good entry on this one. Again, the MACD is just beginning to turn up. The green is already above the red over here. And you can see the arrow where it was oversold on the RSI over here. So all of those things are lining up. This one looks like a really good entry. And that's what we're looking for when we do these scans. Let's look at Roblox real quick, see what that looks like. This has just been a monster of a stock. Pull back a couple of times, but again, notice it pulls back, doesn't even quite hit the 21. So on this particular one, you might want to put an order in a little bit above the 21. And the momentum is just constantly up there. You can see the blue arrows. How many blue arrows? These are all momentum arrows. So that one looks pretty good. And Netflix had a big sell-off. Let's see what it's looking like now. So there's the big sell-off after earnings back here. Earnings were right here. So they missed earnings. They went below the 50. Now it's starting to come back up. It's not above the 21 yet. So, but the histogram's moving up. The MACD is moving up. The green is way below the red. So it's got a lot of work to do. You can see it's been below the RSI for quite a while. So Netflix is one that could be mounting a comeback as well. And what else is on here? That's it. That's it for now. All right. The one thing I wanted to show you that I didn't yesterday is the other thing that you can do is this little arrow over here opens up some other windows that you can create. So this right here is the whole momentum watch list that I've been using to run the scans. So I can see all of the stocks and I can sort it by the best performers. So VSAT, again, looking at all the red, synchronizing with the red. VSAT right there. Look at that. Just nothing but momentum going up. And they had earnings yesterday. Earnings, 3-cent estimate and 17 cents is what they reported. So definitely beat earnings. So all of these are at the top of the list for, this is just for today. Percentage gains just for today. There's Roblox is on there. Reddit has been a great one. There's Reddit right there. I can look at the ones that are at the bottom of the list. Dave actually had pretty good earnings. So this one might be one to think about getting in, especially for value players. It's kind of dangerous because it's going straight down, but that's an interesting one. This one here, Apps is just a $4 stock, and they had great earnings, but this is the problem with buying low price stocks because they don't really have the cash in their war chest like an Amazon or a Meta does. So whenever their stock starts to move up, they issue a secondary. In other words, they issue more stock. And that's a way that they can do that instead of having cash or going out and borrowing money. It's a way that they can bring in some cash to do more things with the company. Well, what that usually does is it sends the stock down. So anybody that had been in it, and look at it, had 2 yellow squeezes down here. So for anybody that was watching this or in it and saw that they had great earnings and then it sold off, instead, that's the reason, because they announced a secondary and that dilutes the shares. So that's something that happens with these low price stocks under 10. You have to just be aware of that. HIMS is on the list, the bottom of the list today as well. It's continuing. I talked about this yesterday, continuing its run lower. So that's what you can have over here. Also, you can close that right there. And I have, this is my S&P futures view. You can see from this morning, we had a really nice run higher. It's kind of rolling over right now. We'll see how it ends the day. Momentum is going lower. This is a 10-minute chart. And down below is the VIX. The VIX actually has been going lower. That's good for stocks. Right now, it looks like it's kind of leveling off at the bottom. We'll see what happens by the end. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the long one yesterday and for the sound problems. Hopefully the sound is better today. Please let me know if there's anything you want me to look at or discuss, or anything you'd like to see for Technical Tuesday next week. Right now, I'm thinking about doing the wheel strategy for options. So thanks, everyone, and I will talk to you later. Take care.